Okay, thank you very much. Thank you very much. I will try to present a research on translating children's literature. I don't know if it's possible to share. Just a moment. The title is the translation. Oh, sorry, something happens. It is not a PhD. It is not a PDF document. So I don't know if I can share it or if I can send it to you. It's the translation of a playful song concerning COVID-19. I don't know if I can send it to you. Just a moment.
If you want to send it to me, I can try to share it.
It's a document. Let me see if it's a PowerPoint document. No, it's not a supported type. So it's a translation of a playful song, COVID-19. It concerns the translation of songs. Just a moment. Let me see if you can write me to a chat, an email. I can send you the PDF, or I cannot transfer it to PDF. So I will have to do without the PowerPoint. According to Mathieu de Lascelles, translating music is the art of recreation of a text. It is not just translating literature, but also the challenge concerning semantics. During the pandemic of COVID-19, Roberto Piumini wrote a children's song, Is There Something in the Air? Che cosa che in aria vola. It was presented in the Bologna Book Fair. A playful antivirus made of words that cross borders and fly all around the world to enter the homes of boys and girls. The concept concerning children's literature is to cover a rhythm concerning coronavirus. It was difficult to present to the children the problems that existed. So Roberto Piumini, one of the Italian's most loved children's authors, has presented the song, and there was a call for translators to translate it in over 30 languages. The efforts of two Italian colleagues had very good results. So the song was translated in English, French, Spanish, Galician, German, Russian, Dutch, Macedonian, Bulgarian, Czech.
I think we have lost you. I think we've lost Marina. We'll just give it a few minutes. Apologies for this.
Translators and the International Federation of
Marina,
Translators.
sorry. We lost you. We lost you for 10 minutes. We lost you for a few minutes. Yeah.
So the song was translated in various languages, and it was the result of it was translated in English, French, Spanish, Galician, German, Russian, Dutch, Macedonian, Bulgarian, Czech, Swedish, Norwegian, Greek, Danish, Afrikaans, Hebrew, Polish, Croatian, Finnish, and many other languages. And the result of the translation was supported by the Bologna's Children's Book Fair, the Association of Literary Translators, and the FIT, the Italian Translation Association and IT. Roberto Piumini, the thing is that it was made available, the Italian version of the song, along with the translation in English. The translation in English was given to the translators as a help to translate the song in the other languages. Some translators, for instance, in Greek, there were three translations. One of them was made from the Italian original, and the other two were based on the English version. And then somebody who spoke Italian tried to find out if it was, let me say, presenting the spirit of the song. Roberto Piumini explains that words are presents, words are seeds, they are gifts that we have plenty, and they are good. They're all we need, and when we are apart, to grow our love. So the song through children's literature has abolished geographical borders at the time that it was difficult even to go from one place to another. The verses were che cosa che in aria vola, che cosa che non so, come mai non si va a scuola, ora ne parliamo un po'. Virus porta una corona, ma di certo non c'è un re e nemmeno una persona, ma allora che cos'è? So there is the question in Italian about what is the coronavirus, and there is an effort to answer. Un tipaccio piccolino, così piccolo che proprio, per vederlo da vicino devi avere il microscopio. So they're using some everyday colloquial phrases like un tipaccio piccolino, per vederla da vicino devi avere il microscopio, to explain in little children what it is all about. In the verses there are expressions like un tipetto velenoso, to show that it is very canny, pericosalmente, to show the danger, dispettoso, lasciare fuori quel briccone, to leave out somebody who is illegal. So there are expressions to tell the children that there is a danger through something that is really small and in a playful way. It gives also instruction, baci abbracci, non li dare. So at the time it was not allowed to kiss and to hug people. Ogni bacio e ogni abbraccio che vuol fare nel male, it shows that the virus wants to harm people. The verses were always playful. Io, tu e tutta la gente con prudenza e antazione batteremo certamente un antipatico birbone. It gives the instruction to the children to follow the example of grown-ups, so they can, with caution and attention, to avoid this canny creature that creates all the problems. And the song finishes saying, e magari quando avremo superato questa prova tutti insieme impareremo una vita saggia e nuova. So even at the end, as it happens, when we have surpassed this object, we will all have a prudent and new life. Through a playful approach, the author presents the virus as a villain who wishes to harm us and presents our lives, and we have instructions to follow. Even the children, through a playful attitude, understand the form of a virus. That's why it talks about the microscope, the prescription to be taken, and why specific action is needed. The children's rhyme about the coronavirus is presented in English through the text, is there something in the air? Che cosa che in aria vola? And it was translated in English by Lee Janechek. The English version starts like, is there something in the air? They called off school. Why they do that? What's the danger to beware? My friend, let's have a little chat. The virus making people frown is called corona. It's no king, even though its name means crown. So you might ask, what is this thing? The bully, it uses the term bully to present something equivalent from the Italian, that we can't see. It is so small that the only hope of showing is to you and me would be a great big microscope. So you see that the playful action is also presented in English, teeny tiny, a light. It's a fight that me and you and everybody else can win. The translator tries to present the equivalent of the Italian. Of course, the rhythm is different and the syllables are more than the Italian version. According to Jacobson, it is not possible to translate poetry, but one may transpose into another language a poetic form coming from another. So what most of the translators try to do in the versions that I can see, for instance, in the English, in the French, in the Italian, in the German and in the Greek version is to transpose the poetic form into another form. Some versions have a lot of syllables due to the language form, but the playful character is kept. According to the principles of translator, for instance, in children's songs, the text, the image, and the music and the oral presentation are in constant interaction. The Italian colleagues have asked at the time the translators to read themselves the text because we know that interpreting a text and the oral form presents all the meanings. So the translators were actually asked to read the text themselves and even to present it in a playful version. Some Greek colleagues have also used a rap form of the song, and they used even children to animate and present a video. So what Rai presented in the song in an oral version was also recreated through the improvisation of translators at the time that there were no other means, just the video to transpose the song. The translation was based usually in the theory of Skopos, of Rice and Vermeer, that focuses on the final aim of the translation, the target reader, and here that is the children. So all translators seem to keep in mind that the audience were the children. The aim of the project was to present in a sensitive form the precautions and the danger ahead, and to keep all the children familiar with the new notions and the new style of life. The context in this concept, according to Jacobson, is the tragic developments in the COVID-19. So when Italy was at the center of the hurricane, the coronavirus issue, it was important to have, let's say, a playful song to present the problem to the children without spreading fear. The criteria, according to Lancelot, is to have the text to be recited and rarely read. So when translating something, it starts as a poem, but when it is read, it has another form. Some sounds may be appropriate in the overall approach, and some words may be changed. For instance, in some of the Greek translations, to have the rhyme was an important thing when synonyms were selected. The meaning, the translator has to respect the meaning. So using synonyms, here in all the versions we see that synonyms that are easily comprehensible to children were chosen, and not some high register synonyms. And the natural sound, it has to sound natural. The rhythm and the flow is really evident in Italian. So in most of the cases, in most of the translations, it was kept, and attention was also made to the semantic factor. So there were not any significant changes that would change the meaning. The rhythm was different, of course, according to the language, and emphatic forms were taken into consideration. Of course, it was not possible to keep the rhyme at all points, but most of the versions had rhyme when it was important. René Ladmiral, when he's talking about translation in general, he talks about fidelity and elegance. So to keep in mind the letter of and the spirit, the letter and the spirit and the spirit, the spirit of the song. Usually what we see in literature is sometimes the songs were left untranslated in some films. Sometimes the lyrics were translated. Sometimes new lyrics were added to music. Sometimes translating lyric and adapting to music, and sometimes adapting translation to music. Here, what was prevailable was the text and the meaning. So it was obvious that what had to be done is to translate the text and then to adapt the whole process, and add some music if in translated with it. The factors usually taken into consideration are melody, structure, and syllabic count, rhythm, intonation, stress, sound and location of the keywords. Some words were also important. In the Greek text, for instance, there were two versions. Τι πετάει στον αέρα, κάτι τρέχει, το όποιες κλείσαν τα σχολεία σε μια μέρα. Άκου να δεις και δώσε βάση. Colloquial expression was used. In another version, there was emphasis on translation of the questions and of using verses that had a few syllables so that the reason would be more vivid. Τι είναι τούτο το πετούμενο, άχτωτο στο ζητούμενο. Τώρα στο ήχο σχολείο, ας μιλήσουμε για τον ιό. Ιός με στέμμα, σίγουρα όχι βασιλιάς. So the synonyms used were words that did not have a lot of syllables and verses that would not have a lot of syllables, so the rhythm would be quicker. The Bologna fair took place digitally, and humanists wished to define borders and to present the versions was achieved, and even now in the digital form of the Bologna Book Fair exist the versions with hyperlinks to all the translation. For instance, in one of the Greek versions, it was added the music of a children's TV series that had a playful meaning, but it had just the music, the melody, and no words, so to have an adaptation. So the text was prevalent.
Hi, Marina. We're going to run out of time.
I think I ran out of time, okay? So if you wish to have a written version of the intervention, it exists with a lot of details and comparison with the different forms. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Marina.